On the International Day of Human Spaceflight, Canada continues to play a significant role in the continued exploration of space, as well as the development of new space technology. Last week, Canada joined the United States in its efforts to expand our current reach beyond the moon and the stars. This with the Canadian Space Agency's Jeremy Hansen becoming the first Canadian astronaut to take part in lunar exploration with the Artemis II mission. Meanwhile, Canadian tech companies are already expanding their technologies to prepare for a new era of spaceflight. Well, joining us now to tell us more about Canada's role outside Earth's atmosphere is Mr. Pradeep Das, President and Chief Technology Officer of Space Engine Systems. Mr. Das, welcome to Forum Daily.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining us. So what do we know so far about the Artemis II mission and its primary objective?
Yeah, Artemis 2 is going to send 4 astronauts around the moon or the lunar mission. And one of the astronauts is definitely Canadian. We're all proud about that. And I'm sure the Canadian government has worked really hard to get this thing done.
Definitely proud of Canada's involvement in this. So how does Canada's cooperation in this mission currently impact its presence in global space exploration?
I think this is the easiest or the least expensive path to the lunar mission, partnering with NASA. I think it's a wonderful thing, and it will promote engineering, both in aerospace and also space all around Canada. It'll bring about a lot of excitement, especially in universities, and which we are struggling to hire. So this will be excellent approach.
And we know the Artemis II mission, the broader goal here is to create a durable lunar presence, all to pave the way for human exploration of Mars. So how far away are we from a goal like that? Do we have a timeline?
Timelines are difficult in space. One of the things is that you've got to plan for failures instead of planning for success. So I would say that we're probably 7 to 10 years away before we land on Mars. But having a base on lunar mission is a prerequisite before we look into anything else. It's probably 1/6 the gravity of Earth. We can have a base there if you've got water out there, and if you've got a business case, that's the most important thing. As long as there's a business case, I think it'll move forward.
And on that note, what does a durable lunar presence look like?
It could be a whole thing. It could be fuel. If there's enough water out there in different forms, it could be converted to hydrogen. That's fuel for any type of rockets to fly. So, and if there's oxygen, and definitely if there's water, there's oxygen that you can get from water, and that is something will sustain life. So there's a lot of planning to do. It's a very difficult path, but I think it can be done. It takes more time, being really careful, minimize any kind of failures.
All right, just about 2 minutes here, but I definitely want to switch gears and talk a little bit about Space Engine Systems. Can you briefly tell us about the role your company is playing as Canada expands our presence in space?
Space Engine Systems is focused on lunar mission in the first place. So we set up in 2011, focused on lunar mission. We are doing but we have to do a whole bunch of stuff before we get there. One is the Hello 1X, and that is the demonstrator vehicle, which will go up to 32 kilometers. It's for point to point, and then we'll come back and land. And we hope to fly that this year from the US, subject to FAA approval. We have not submitted the application yet, but we're putting the whole thing together. We have set up a company in the US called Space Engine System USA Inc., and another one at Cornwall in UK called Space Engine System Limited. So in Cornwall, we have a partnership with Cornwall Council for hypersonics going forward. So definitely, we're aiming for the lunar mission, and we think just past 2025, we should be ready, assuming that we don't have multiple failures. So our company is based on how many failures can we sustain instead of the success. Success is a given, but we're planning for the number of failures we can sustain before we get to the lunar mission.
Definitely something to look forward to. Now, is there anything that you're keeping your eyes on in the lead up to the Artemis II mission? Just about 30 seconds left here, Mr. Das.
Definitely, we are looking and hoping that this will be 100% success, and any failure would set it back. And I just hope there's a business case built up instead of looking at what China is doing or what Russia is doing. If you create a business case, it will sustain. Because you must understand, more than 50 years ago, US has landed on the moon. So it's not exotic. They've done it before. And we are doing it after 50 something years. So as long as there's a business case, this is going to move forward. And there's helium-3 and other mining areas we can look on the moon.
Mr. Das, thank you again for your time today on Forum Daily.